You are listening to Earth's Mightiest Podcast, episode 171. The fight has just begun.
Yes, a fight that we have won.
Woo!
So
Right. Back to the regular scheduled shit show.
Damn right.
exactly. So yeah. Anyway, enough politics. What have you been up to, Bobby?
We got it out of the way. We saved our listeners, right? Boy, you know what I've been up to? Actually, I've been playing a bunch of music. Having a pretty good time. I got some new pieces of gear to add to my collection so that my sort of one-man band kind of skill set can... I'm trying to work on my studio engineering skills, and also I got a really good MIDI keyboard that's got really nice action. Feels more like you're playing a real keyboard than a toy. I got a machine that's sort of like an MPC with the pads that you can program with all different samples, so you can like play a whole drum set, that kind of thing. Yeah, and I had a couple of buddies over to play like guitars, and I've got my saxophone, of course, and just kind of trying to let the creative juices flow, and it's starting to feel pretty good and make every couple of years I have that light bulb go off that's like, oh, that's why I'm so restless and grumpy and just generally hate the universe. I keep forgetting to play music. It's a defining characteristic of my personality. So if I let it go for too long, I start to turn into green sludge.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll have something that I feel good enough about to put forward for you guys soon.
Nice.
And of course a revamped version of the X-Men song for the EMX podcast's theme music that I promised Viet 18 months and 6 to 8 more months ago. Something like that.
Terrible.
It might be more than 18 at this point. But who's keeping count?
That's what I said, 18 plus 6. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Viet.
Not much. The usual tons of commissions to do, and then streaming on Twitch still.
Oh, I
Which
actually
has
have a
been
question for you, Viet.
Hmm.
It seems one of your roommates, one of your housemates, Lukey Monster's been making a lot of number of appearances on the gram for one thing. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yes, he is now his designated 5 years old. It is his birthday on the 16th.
Lukey Monster.
5 human years, but he's how old in dog years?
I think that's a myth, but
I've always gone with 7. 7 is the multiplier, right. So
he's in his 30s.
But I'm pretty sure that's a.
And make him what for one? I'm gonna go with
in his 30s. What you say? It's a myth, Viet?
Like the whole like for every 1 year is like 7 years in dog years or something like that. Like I heard that was a myth.
I started to feel like maybe it's one of those. It's something that it's not like quite as straightforward as it's just always the same over time. Like probably when they're very little, it moves much faster than that, and then towards the middle of their life cycle, it's probably something closer to that.
Right.
And then unfortunately, towards the end, it probably speeds up again.
But yeah, and since we don't have children, like we spoil our dog.
Hey, I am about it. Let me tell you.
Yeah, like we took him to the park. We actually we live in a sort of like a rich people area. Like we're just a bunch of well-off old white people live, and there's actually like a dog bakery, like a pet bakery.
Hey, dogs gotta eat too.
Yeah, I mean, like they have treats and they have daycare and all that kind of stuff. But like their whole thing is that there's a bakery there, and we got him a
Oh,
cupcake from there because we're crazy dog parents.
Oh man, that is awesome.
And he had a good time.
that's good.
Yeah, and then but yeah, in regards to Twitch, I did a 12-hour live stream
Whoa.
on the like earlier in the week, like on the
Hmm.
15th, and I ended up raising $220 for feedingamerica.org. So that
Good
was pretty
job.
cool.
You are a much better humanitarian than I am.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie that it was sort of like, well, one, it was a way for me to just try to knock out a big chunk of my commission list
Hmm.
without being interrupted. Like, because I pretty much worked for like 12 hours straight, like with maybe like 10-minute breaks in between every
So,
3 hours. And like, so I did that, but then yeah, I was also be able to raise some money while I
Did
was
you like
doing
set
it.
a timer for your three
So
hours? Did you set like a
uh,
timer for your 3 hours?
yeah, or I mean, like I went from 9 to 9, pretty much. So I would just set an alarm from like 9 at 12. Once I started at
Gotcha.
9, and then I made like a schedule on like what Funko Pops I was gonna work on those three
So
hour
people can come
blocks.
in where they want to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because like it was also sort of like an indie comic spotlight too. Because like I was working on like Kickstarter stuff. I was working on Funko Pops for like these indie character
Yeah.
creators, and so it was like a little win-win for everybody, pretty much. So
All right. Well, I haven't been nothing up to nothing much. Reading books for these shows and work and keeping these kids straight with their school and virtual schools and breaking up fights and this person called that person this name and having two like dogs chasing each other through the house with the way these two run around and chase each other. So yeah, yeah,
yeah, I hats off to you, man, that have to deal with that and not and well and being by like for the most part being by yourself to deal with it, and then like add on to the fact that they can't really go anywhere.
exactly. That's the toughest part.
Like, yeah, I can't even imagine.
It's a handful or two, definitely.
Yeah,
a real human, you mean?
Yes, my humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like
I feel like it's basically irresponsible at this point to add more humans to this planet. I'm, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
I'm kind of at that point too, man. I was just like, I'm just gonna adopt like 4 dogs. I was like, is that okay? How about we just do that?
Present company, well, not excluded so much as pardoned. Corwin, your lifestyle choices are respected in this place. This is a safe place for you. For now. Dun, dun, dun.
Hmm.
I miss my doggy.
Mm.
He's a hell of a critter. I just like I remember thinking very seriously that I was frustrated that if they went ahead and cloned that sheep, like why can't they make that of that thing available to the public? So if you really love your dog, you can actually get them back. Doesn't seem like such a big deal to me.
don't know. It's a little weird when it comes to the ethics of cloning. Like,
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But it does seem like something that will eventually
well,
happen,
didn't
doesn't it?
sheep have a shorter lifespan anyway?
What,
No,
than
the sheep,
dogs?
like shorter than normal lifespan. Well, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I think they threw her in the incinerator, but I'm not sure. You might be right, although I have a feeling the point wasn't to see how long it would live just as much as would it live at all.
Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked. Podcast reviews is the best way to spread the word about Earth's Mightiest podcast. In the ocean of other podcasts, we say it's a lifeline that draws listeners to us. It's super easy, so whatever platform that you listen to us on, there's so many out there right now that we can't even possibly name them. But do us a solid and just hit us with a little bit of, feedback to boost us in the search queries and help people find us. Also, don't forget about our patreon.com/EMPcast, where you can help donate to the show for as little as $1 a month. We'll give you 1 month early access to our EMBS episodes. I can also possibly get you some free comics, eventually some sketches from Alex, and some custom work from Viet, and even some merchandise swag like mugs and things like that. So definitely help us keep the lights on, hosting and all the other stuff by donating to the show if at all possible. We know it's hard, so if you can't, don't feel bad. But if you can spare a few little shillings, send it our way.
Yeah, I just checked our podcast reviews on Apple because it's not iTunes anymore.
Yeah.
Is our war chest dwindling?
But yeah, like we haven't had one since that one guy trying to contact Bobby back in May.
Oh my god. Via, before you jump, I'm gonna actually go ahead and ask if you do like the show enough that you want to write a review. Unless you don't have an Apple ID for whatever reason, just because, like, who really knows how that stuff works? If you've got time, just log into Apple Music and leave the review there, because then we know for sure we'll get it and that it will credit us. It also helps us to move up the rankings in the podcast and become more available to other listeners. So there's just so much out there. It's hard to track, and things could get lost in the shuffle. So if you have the time, please do it that way. That would be much appreciated. Vote early and often, as we always say.
I don't know. Maybe everyone mailed in their 5-star podcast reviews. And we're still sifting through those, and dealing with the fraudulent iTunes.
If you haven't heard yours read yet and it was mailed in, don't worry. We will be counting each and every last podcast.
We want to read the legal ones and deal with the illegal podcast reviews.
Oh Lord.
Insert more good jokes here.
All right. Well, we're gonna let Tribe One take us out for a little.
Now appearing in the building, up in every ear hole from 80-year-olds to the children. You're here to hear about the heroes and the villains and save yourself some dollars, yen, and euros from the zeros to the millions. This is a lot of class packed into one podcast. They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, 5-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Venice, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's Mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's Mightiest. EMP, literally MP3TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's Mightiest.
Avengers Assemble!
This is Earth's Mightiest Podcast. I am Vidwin, and with me, as always, are Corwin Kroll
Greetings.
and Bobby Moriarty.
Mo better than the rest of you.
Yes, we stand strong as your front line to the Avengers titles, published by Marvel Comics. We defend you from the bad books and avenge the books you may have missed.
I just realized I'm the only one without win in my name. Our issues will be rated from win to 5, with win being very, very bad, 5 being very 5 being awesome. There's also going to be spoilers in relation to the books that we review. If you haven't read them by the time you hear this, you probably weren't going to anyways, but you're being warned. So consider your ass warned.
Yeah, and since everything is pretty much an X-Men comic now, we're a little slim on the east side.
You ain't lying.
Which is funny too, because this month's Avengers book seems like it would be really. I mean, it's almost an X-Men, but it seems like it would be a real important sort of piece of content. But I don't know. Maybe Cora will have to tell it that.
Why?
Yeah, there's no X and there's no swords. So
There's a bird.
There's a fiery
Yeah.
bird.
I know.
Right.
So we are talking. The book in question that we're talking about is Avengers number 37, written by Jason Aaron, with art by Javier Garon, and colors by Jason Key. So the issue opens with, of course, Khonshu going after the Star Brand baby, who is trying to defend Iron Man from Khonshu, and Carol's barely able to hold her back, until suddenly in comes the Moon Phoenix, I guess is the proper term, as he sucker punches Khonshu, and of course, is able to
Yeah, a Phoenix Punch. Well, sure you can.
Yeah, so he's able to actually keep Khonshu back, and then I was wondering if he's the one that freed Thor, but they kind of skip to Black Panther, who is still dealing with the forces of Khonshu, and of course the Avengers end up assembling on Khonshu's behind. We got Robbie Reyes showing up, riding an ambulance. The rest of the Black Panther is able to share the rest of the powers with the rest of the Avengers, so it looks like Blade gets the powers of the Sorcerer Supreme, and She-Hulk gets the Iron Fist due to the angst that absorbs their power. Which I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
different. That's different. They're playing around with the powers a little bit, but of course, Khonshu gets captured, and Thor eventually frees himself from the moons and throws down with Moon Knight, which we kind of missed that whole fight. We just see that Moon Knight is down and the Phoenix has left him to go who knows where, but of course Phoenix running loose on Earth, or the Phoenix Force running loose on Earth, is definitely not a good thing. On the moon, we noticed that Jean and Wolverine end up feeling it, that it's back, but Jean's like, you know what, this isn't really for me, but Wolverine says, yo, I'm going, I got 6 reasons to go right here.
Wolvie. And if that doesn't let you know it's an X-Men comic, I don't know what it.
Yeah, see, you had to complain that it's like, I don't know about this whole Phoenix and no X-Men thing. Well, go, Corwin.
Oh
Well, it's been a while
man,
since Wolverine's been on the Avengers.
he shouldn't have left us without a bunch of claws to gut us.
But you know what? That's one thing I will say
Yep.
that I kind of miss. Like, the Bendis Avengers was like literally like all the best heroes in the Marvel universe. You know, when you put Spider-Man and Wolverine and Luke Cage, it was just like a good bunch of misfits.
It was like back when like you'd play with action figures against somebody, and somebody be like, no, that's not fair. You like that team's like you have them and that. I can't think of exactly what I'm quite referring to, but that playground type of interactions where somebody was shall we say, putting their fingers on the scale.
Hmm.
Ben did have a tendency to do that. It was kind of fun. The opposite of parody. What was I going to say about this? I like the ambulance. Although it didn't look quite as... I just liked it as a... I'll go so far as to say I enjoy seeing Robbie really kind of always writing something different, you know? Like, we get to see that a lot. That's fun. I just wish that the ambulance was a little bit more decked out, a little more spirit of vengeance-y. Trying to pull the book back up.
Yeah, they do jump
But,
around a lot. You know, bringing all these characters together in all these different places that things are happening at the same time. But not to mention when Robbie shows up, he's already stepped out of the ambulance, so he couldn't.
Yeah, he makes a comment. What he says something that is important.
How much the power hurts.
Yeah, I guess that's it. They don't really say anything about why he's in his underwear.
I think he was. Didn't they have him in a sarcophagus or
Yeah.
something? Who did they have trapped? I don't quite remember. And that's when Cap's team rescued somebody that was 2 or 3 people. No, that was Iron Fist and Doctor Strange. Never mind. Yeah, and Ghost Rider. Yeah, all the people that got their powers taken, they had trapped.
Yeah. I think those are just running shorts.
They had them. They had them all trapped, so they freed them.
Okay. I see. Well, you know. So, is it all right to talk a little bit more detailed about like how this book ends? And we sort of get the Avengers finally thinking about something that we've been talking about for quite a while. Although I don't really know that the team has kind of like made this correlation. They sort of talking about how Mephisto is kind of next up on their hit list, as he's really been effing with them at every given turn for quite a while now. Or did I mix that up with one of the other books I was reading? It is in this book, right?
Moon Knight makes a brief mention of it as he's passed out and
Yeah.
doesn't have the Phoenix Force anymore.
Yeah.
Are we to understand that this is before Empire?
They do say something when it takes place.
I don't remember that. I've been keeping an eye out for it, and I haven't noticed it yet. So
Okay, or I mean, like, I guess
call it.
we still don't know yet, right? Whether this is before or after
Correct.
Empire.
Correct. The art is solid. I think Javier still has a little bit of growing to do. There's some pages that look a little odd, like when Thor is finally free and he's swinging his hammer. Just how he's drawn there is just a little odd looking. His face is really boxy. He's just, I think he needs to keep improving his style some. I think he's got some more growing to do.
When was that?
When Thor finally frees himself and you see him spinning Mjolnir. He's kind of just a bit boxy.
It's a little.
I just think some of his faces and characters need just a little bit more development.
This is Matteo Scalero, is it?
No, Javier
No,
Garon.
Javier Garon.
Oh, the cover was Scalero. Sorry.
Yeah, and what's it called, the page where Iron Man has all of like the rocket launchers and guns out, like the arms look like a little short.
And it looks like
And,
it's like
the
really his
proportions are weird.
Yeah.
Like the mask is like too form fitting. Yeah, he's not perfect. But it's really good
Oh,
art
it
though.
is. It's good. He's definitely got some growing to do.
I would say that the coloring and the inks, and I'll have to check and see, are work really good together too. So, well, I guess he probably does do. Jason Keith is the color artist. If Scalero is doing this via, digital, I guess that probably means he does his own inks now. I like that aspect of it. I think there's a good synergy going on there. And there's some really cool. I like Cap like yelling about how zombies can point. He's like smashing his shield down on a zombie. There's a couple of like really kind of nice panels, as well as a couple of indicators that a little bit of work to do.
There's some good storytelling in
Yeah.
his art style.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as a little like a break from. I have to say, for me, Ed McGuinness can get a little bit. I'm sorry, Mr. McGuinness. Your art is awesome. It just it starts to get almost repetitive sometimes. You go to the well, I feel like, in certain ways. But I really enjoyed the art overall. I liked when Doc Strange throws throws Hulk and Blade some weapons, tells him to hold on to them, and then we get for a moment Jennifer Walters, Iron Hulk, and Blade, the Sorcerer Supreme. Their faces in that panel right before are pretty funny too.
Yeah. I would like to have seen more of Iron Hulk.
Yeah, that would have been fun to kind of riff on for a bit.
At least get a Fist of She-Hulk or something.
What do we think?
A kung fu move?
Yeah, certainly. What do we think about this? What seems to be a very real separation of Khonshu and Moon Knight, and also Moon Knight says that for the first time he admits that he was mentally unstable. Like we throughout the last few years of Moon Knight books.
No.
We see him talking to Khonshu a lot, but go ahead. Sorry, what am I missing?
I think he's admitting for the first time he truly lost his mind when he lets the Phoenix Force kind of tempts him with destroying the Earth. He said, "God help me, I consider genocide," which is when I realized for the very first time that I truly have lost my mind. So maybe it's because of the Phoenix Force. I don't really think it was just because of everything he's done.
Sure, but nevertheless, it's. I felt like the implication is that took me to such a dangerous place that it forced me to confront the reality of I've lost my mind. Could be a grand thing. Perhaps I'll write in looking for no prize. Yeah. And then, also the fact that they say his final words are, Mephisto represents a threat so large the Age of Khonshu couldn't stop it, but maybe the Phoenix can. And Phoenix does seem to be inbound. That's going to be fun.
All right.
Logan.
Your sound is getting degrading.
I'm just sorry. I was leaning away from
Okay.
the mic. I apologize. I'll throw out a grade. Is that cool? I will throw out a grade of 6 minus 2 adamantium claws.
I'm gonna give it 4 reigniting of the suns.
Reignited. Double LP world excited.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, Corin. I'm gonna give it a 4 Phoenix Dragon Punches.
That's 4s across the
Yep.
board then.
Solid stuff. Thankfully,
Good
they didn't
stuff.
let it drag on another issue.
Or did they?
Well, like, doesn't see much Khonshu.
Yeah. I'm kind of torn where it's just like, it seemed like they, on one side, it seemed like they came to a closure pretty quickly or easily. Like, I never thought of Khonshu as like a legitimate threat. But at the same time, I'm also glad that they didn't drag this out. You know? So.
I feel like we're going to see Mark Spector next issue.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, for sure.
Wouldn't doubt it. So.
But yeah, they.
So Viet, why don't you tell me a little bit about this new iteration of Champions?
Yeah, we have Champions #1, written by Eve Ewing. Yep, Eve Ewing, art by Simone de Mio. Colors by Federico Blee, letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. And this is a continuation from, it was like Outlawed,
Yes.
right? Yes, Outlawed #1. That happened like years ago. I think it feels like
10 years ago in 2020.
I'm pretty sure it was at least pre-COVID, right?
10 years ago in 2020.
Yes.
Wow.
And so at the end of that, there was another big mistake by the Champions, to the point where they made Kamala's Law, right? Not knowing that Kamala is Miss Marvel, and so basically banning child or teenage non-adult superheroes, basically. And so we start this issue with Miles Morales going to school, and there's a big announcement from Miss Marvel saying that, like, we're aware of the law and we're not going to stand it because adults suck and we're still going to superhero. And so they have a big meeting, they have a big meeting of the young superheroes with Miss Marvel, and they kind of argue back and forth whether like it was Miss Marvel's call to do that. And during the meeting, in comes Vance Astrovic, aka Justice, with a group called Cradle, who are now the kid superhero police. He comes in and busts them. They've already captured Locust and Snowbird, but they also managed to capture Wasp and what was her name? Bombshell. I was just like Splody Girl. What was her name?
Bombshell.
Yeah, it's Bombshell. Yeah. So they capture her, and like everyone else manages to escape, and then we see the officers of Cradle that were are like talking about how they wish they capture more people and how they got their information. They got their information from a synthezoid, and they were just thinking that they probably got the tip from Vision, because Viv is supposedly dead. But then we pan away and we see Viv standing out and looking super sad.
She's the informant.
Yes.
Ugh, that's roughies.
I overall I thought the issue was cool. The art is very solid. I have some problems with this whole status quo. I like the fact that they put it out there that they can legally get mentors. I thought
Yes.
Yeah.
that was definitely a nice touch. But I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, like they only have they only have so many to choose from, and then there's a little slight at D-Man.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many mentors, but it just seems like I don't know if this is a lot of effort that they would really put forward to stopping these kids, as much effort as they're putting into it. I mean, it's almost as big as like the Superhuman Registration Act Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional. I think this is a bit of a meta commentary going on here. Somebody had something they wanted to get off their chest at
Well,
Marvel.
we got Dust back, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, thank God. What? Excuse me. I had something in my throat. Dust is cool. I'm just playing.
Yeah, and it seems like for the most part, like a lot of the public seem to be on the champion side.
Well,
But
we have some kids that disagree with it. When what's the girl's name? I don't know if we're supposed to know who these characters are. Kaylee.
Oh, the kids in
Yeah,
school.
Kaylee and Jamila. They kind of get into argument about this whole thing, and they both get suspended for a day for fighting.
yeah, at first I thought that was Moon Girl. It's like she's in high school. Like they already skipped her up to the high school. But no, that's not
I
Moon
don't.
Girl.
Technically, she already have graduated college, right?
Nah. But maybe these are characters from Miles's book. Because there's other books that kind of tie into the status quo. You got the Miles book. The Power Pack has a mini series or series coming, and a new Warriors book is supposed to be coming as well. So they got their own little corner of this, which, if I'm honest, I'm not that interested in.
I don't think these characters are that we're meant to recognize them.
I mean, you got your big three. You got your Miss Marvel, Spidey, and Nova.
I didn't mean them, Corwin.
Okay.
I meant the girls in the classroom.
Oh. Yeah.
I think they're just supposed to be, opinion from the street type of thing, right? Like when Conan's out asking people questions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I also like to touch that. I mean, if you're gonna do a Civil War type, like mutant registration type or superhero registration type thing, and then involving the new warriors, right, who started Civil War, the first Civil War, is a good touch. With Justice being the new, like the cop.
Well, I mean, he's one of the closest teen.
Right.
Well, recently used to be teen superhero, and he accidentally killed somebody with his powers and went to jail and did time for it and everything. So I can understand him being the face of the police. And Cradle is Child Hero Reconnaissance and Disruption Law Enforcement.
Ugh.
And somebody's like, shouldn't it be Tradle? The H.
Yeah.
What is Squirrel's girl's age supposed to be? Because at one point she was aged up.
Yeah, like she's like in. Well, I mean, she was going to NYU in her series, so she's like, yeah, she seems a little old to be a teen hero.
And her and Wolverine had a history supposedly, so.
Yeah, she's kind of up there. Yeah, I don't know about including Squirrel Girl.
It's just a weird one. What did you guys think about the art?
Who's the girl with the goggles, like the aviator hat looking thing?
Isn't that Moon Girl? No.
Her name's
There's a part, there's a part where Moon Girl, like when she's talking.
Oh, I see.
It's the 16th page, I think. 16th
Is that
page?
the
14th page. Sorry.
is that the Bucky, the female Bucky?
Is it?
Oh, there's a female Bucky?
She's from that Counter Earth stuff, that Heroes Reborn universe thing, I think. It could be, but I could be wrong.
Is it red what she's wearing?
It's kind of hard. She's
I'm not-
in shadows.
No, yeah, well, she's wearing an aviator hat. She's the one that says, "Guys, there's a loophole in the law. You just need an approved mentor." On the 14th page.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, but I just don't know who she is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know.
All right, listeners, let us know who is this character.
Yeah. I still can't. Hey, can you guys hear me? Thanks.
Yeah, we can hear you.
She took the champion. I'm on page 14. Oh, I see. The aviator glasses.
Bottom left, yeah.
Yeah, she's looks to be Caucasian, for the record. I do not know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was another Falcon that wasn't Joaquin.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Is this all from Outlawed?
What
Or?
Falcon you talking about?
The girl that's in the next panel.
That's
after
Starling.
that.
Oh.
Okay, well, she's got feathers and wings.
Yeah, her name-
and a red visor. She looks an awful lot like
Her
Falcon.
name's Starling. Yeah. So you guys, art. I think nobody's said anything.
Yeah, right. I think we were holding off probably. It reminds me of the guy that was on another one that was on like the U.S. Avengers for a while that we used to say was like the budget Matteo Scalero. I can't think of his name right now. Shoot. It'll come to me. It's not my favorite. It's a little flat.
I think the colors really pop the art, though.
The colors are pretty good. I'll give you that. I get iffy when people lean on the like caricaturization, and then it comes off sometimes as like covering for underdevelopment of talent. It's not horrible. It's just a little bit. It's just a little mediocre. That's all. I really like the panel, which is like a close up of Kamala on the television, and it's like a little digitized. Yeah. That's cool. I don't know. We're suffering from a little bit of everyone looks exactly the same itis, in my opinion. Who is that it reminds me of? You guys don't remember talking about somebody who's budget Matteo Scalero?
Kind of, but it's not. I can't think of it right
it's
now.
Not coming back to you. Yeah. I remember real specifically, like there's some Hawkeye panels that happened while they were on the hidden base, that like underwater base, right? Maybe during or right before they had the American Kaiju incident, and we were going back and forth on that. Yeah, it's not gonna save the issue if the issue wasn't going good. I'll tell you that. A really great issue. That might cover for the art, though.
I think it's It's actually funny if you read the letter to the reader by Eve Ewing.
Hmm.
She actually says, there's a part where she says, we're sure glad to see you, all of us. Me, Simone DeMeo, and Miss Marvel, and Vision, and Nova, and Ironheart, and Spider-Man, and Snowguard, and Pinpoint, and Bombshell, and Power Man, and Red Locust, and okay, I just got a note from our editor, the invincible Alana Smith, that if I attempt to list all the champions, it will take up the entire letter's solicitation page. My
I'm
bad.
Pinpoint. Pinpoint must be the
Teleporter.
the girl's
No,
name.
Pinpoint's the teleporter kid. He's a boy.
Yep, he's the green-haired guy.
Damn it. What were we talking about before that? The art. Yeah. Yeah. Simone. It's not. It's. How shall we say? It's stylized. So your mileage may vary. I actually, as I go through it, Corwin, I'm gonna have to come down on disagreement with you. I think there's a little too much pastel, like there's kind of too much subdued tones. I'd like to see the coloring make it pop more. That might help separate things out. I can't shake the feeling that I'm looking at everything through an Instagram filter, to be honest. Couple of things. I just got curious about viewing since we followed, Al Ewing for so long. Since he's just been around as part of our podcast for so long. No relation. Eve Ewing's from Chicago. She is an African-American woman who has also previously worked in education, been a teacher, and that, in my opinion, might make her specifically well-suited for writing about teen superheroes. And she also claims to have always had a fascination with teen superheroes. I do think the writing's pretty good, and that whether or not this turns out to be as sort of important as the Superhero Registration Act, I think part of it is that we're meant to get that feeling from these kids either way, because it's impacting their world so much that the writing is meant to convey that. So I like, as first issues go, I'm really enjoying this. I mean, not like we haven't been been around these characters, but it's nice to have them back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this team can do. This team of artists, that is to say, and by artists I mean writers and artists. And welcome Eve Ewing to the champions, and I hope you survive the experience.
Okay.
It might be. I found a wiki page of Outlawed, and it might be a character named Cloud9.
Oh, yes.
It says fictional character, teenage superheroine appearing in American comics published by Marvel Comics.
She's back from the Initiative era.
Wow, nice pull,
Yeah,
Corwin.
she's from the Initiative era, which is a fantastic book.
I'm guessing that's her. I recognize all the rest of the names on here.
That's her. She wears those things. She rides on a cloud, literally.
Her Wikipedia page has a panel from Initiative issue 1, art by Caselli, and she's riding on. It looks like she's snowboarding, but I guess she's riding a cloud.
She was one of the first of the generation for the Initiative.
Signed to Freedom Force, the Montana team.
She's a focal point for we should go back to that book, Avengers the Initiative. That's a really good team book. All right.
I Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Throw your grade out.
Yeah, I'll give this 4 background teenagers. I'm feeling it. Like I've always loved the champions. I really did like the last couple iterations. In my opinion, there's some shoes to be filled around here, but I got nothing but positive hopes for this team. So maybe nail down the art a little bit, or we'll, do some shuffling, maybe even. But we'll see. It's not killing it yet. So boom, let's do it.
Agreed. I definitely agree with what you said. It's Champions is not to the height that it previously was, and I wanted to get back there because
Yeah,
for a while it was Avengers territory.
it
Good,
was
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
This is gonna get a good 3.5. Kamala doesn't want that law.
We're getting real outside the box with her.
Yeah, I'm also giving it 3.5 Civil War 1/2 because they're smaller. Get it?
We got it. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. Bobby, what can you tell us about Savage Avengers number 13?
It's funny you should ask Corwin about Savage Avengers 13. Probably the best issue of this book that I've read. I'm serious about that. Quick second to pull up the unless you got the art team
Jerry
right in
Duggan,
front of you.
Patch Zurcher,
And Mike Dimatteo. In a honestly a great outing for Matt. Wait, why am I saying his name wrong?
It's Patch Zurcher.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not Diodato.
Oh, wonder
Diodato's been out for Diodato's been out for like a year.
Well, the cover is Valerio Giorgiano, but the interior artist is Patch Zurcher. Color artist is Faba Tartaglia.
Tartaglia.
Yeah, what you said, and Travis Lanham on letters. So, Boss Logic did a variant. We have to see what that looks like.
So, Doctor Strange has called a meeting of the Savage Squad. On the he's doing this to sort of think outside the box and keep their enemies guessing. We've got a team that consists of, for the record, Voodoo, Black Widow, Damon Hellstrom, Elektra, Logan, and Ilyana Rasputin, as well as everyone's favorite barbarian, savage with a savage sword, Conan. So they're meeting out here because it's become clear that there's a imminent interdimensional attack coming from an earlier enemy from the series, the wizard sorcerer named Kuman Agath. I forget his full last name.
Kulan Goth. That's good. That is
Kulan Goth. So and in order to illustrate this, Strange hands it off to Conan to tell a story about a recent experience, which we get a look into the boudoir, if you will. Conan is sleeping with a bunch of Huas, one of whom has a prosthetic leg. And he noticed while he was banging out all night with these women that some of them were being held under servitude without any chains because they're addicted to drugs. And basically, Strange revealed that this wizard is poisoning narcotics with like some type of possession agent to put them under his spell. Conan, for the record, becomes aware that the the one-eyed tentacled creature that is Shumagorath is like attacking him via this woman, and he takes her leg and beats. You're just gonna have to read it, honestly. And so yeah, Strange
whoa,
basically.
Come on, you missed the best part of that story. Why'd you even start if you didn't finish it?
Conan beats the crap out of Shumagorath with the prosthetic leg. It's a sight to behold.
And then
he says, "Your leg died well once more."
And then the girl's telling him to get his ass back in bed.
Oh yeah, and then she goes, "Yeah." Now that that's over, I'm just glad you killed whatever that was. Now get your ass back in bed. And that is how I came to understand that Leon Gath was poisoning people through the cursed poppies. Yeah, and then Black Widows, you were just gonna drop it. We're not gonna talk about that. So Strange breaks them up into two squads. He's calling one sword and one shield. The sword team obviously as the defense unit, and the shield team as the attack unit. No, wait, scratch that, reverse it. So yeah, they sort of head off in opposite directions. Black Widow thinks that a perfect tool for this job might be Frank Castle, since they're fighting possessed drug addicts and users and sellers. And we also have a last minute interaction with Logan and Bats, the ghost dog. Bats is upset that Logan didn't bring any beer, I think. And at the very end, see that Shumagorath is completely aware of what's going on, and in fact has already that their plot was going to be to destroy Shumagorath so that the wizard Gorath couldn't take his full power, but he's already eaten Shumagorath and absorbed his power via that cannibalistic method, and now he's just waiting basically for the Savage Avengers to come to blow his spot, and he's gonna apparently try to blow theirs.
Yeah, so it looks like he's transforming people, and when they transform, he's eating them to get more and more of
right
power.
I guess I took it to mean that he had, maybe I'm wrong, because you're right, it does look like in the panel where he's watching the Avengers secretly, there's a human on the ground. Each of the people who become possessed end up looking like Hive with like a Cthulhu on their face. And I thought he was saying he had already killed the main Shumagorath, but it's just the possessed ones, possessed people. And to absorb their powers, he eats them, which is gross. It's a really good issue.
It's interesting. This was definitely one of the more fun issues.
Yeah, it was over the top, but like handled well. It wasn't just like tongue in cheek the whole time. It was like over the top and like leaned into it. They didn't really ever stop to be like, ha ha ha, how funny is it that we're doing this, for Black Widow for like a half second. But yeah, I was impressed. This is my favorite issue of this comic to date. I mean, the metal leg thing was just gonzo.
I liked at least that I picked this issue up and I knew what was going on.
Yeah,
like it was actually a good jumping on issue. but at the same time, I still could not care less. So, for what it is, it's a pretty fun issue. But I've checked out of this book
Yeah,
10 years ago. So,
it feels like one of those things. Like I think maybe the way that Mightiest probably felt for a while for you guys, where it's like this seems to be happening in parallel, whatever the real story is going on with the Avengers, right? Like it's just this is a thing, it's happening. It's probably in any given day, like the writers and artists have to check in with editorial and get cleared for any character they want to use because they're not the real story. It was like the fact that Wolverine's even in this book right now, I thought was surprising considering he was a guest star in, at the end of Avengers. So it does a little bit feel that way, right? Like that it's not really playing at the big kids table, but I mean, metal legs.
yeah, he's like, I need that leg.
Yeah, that's when you were trying to get me to say it, Core. When I was trying to figure out a way to say it, like in a way that Rocket would have said it. And we might have an episode title in there somewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
I like how Damon Hellstrom is just like he's just going full on Namor look. Wise.
He looks like Aquaman. Yeah, that's weird. What's up with the trident and no shirt? Does he always wear no shirt?
I think for the most. No, he.
Yeah, he usually does, but like the way he's drawn, at least in this issue, he looks like full on. Yeah, like Aquaman Namor.
Yeah.
With his
He
trident.
usually has some kind of jacket, I think.
Speaking of Hellstrom, have either of you,
Yes.
perchance?
Yeah.
There's a television show, currently a Hulu property. Viet, did you know about it?
I knew about it. I haven't started watching it though.
No. There's very little to tie it into the Marvel universe, to be honest. But it's an all right horror, like TV horror show. I saw the whole thing. I watched it all the way through. His sister kind of steals the show.
Most definitely.
But, yeah. It sort of let's put it this way, as a Supernatural fan, it kind of filled that hole for me.
It came together too. It came together pretty nice at the end, to where when it ended, you kind of were like, "Damn, I want more." I want to see how they finish this out.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, let's
great?
stay on topic. Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna mess around and give this 4 tentacles because I really did like it. So, and the art by Mike Diodato. I mean, oops. I was totally like had this whole thing I was gonna say about Mike Diodato. Like I didn't take it seriously. I had to nick that part of my
Oh
my
Lord.
commentary.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Went back to bed.
Yeah.
It seems like it has several meanings.
Yep.
Going back to bed.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Go dogs.
All right. I never did finish that Doctor Strange run by Jason Aaron or Mark Waid.
Yeah. I have the issues. I just haven't. But like I said, just Kulon Goth is just ruined for me. You just mentioned that. I just get a bad taste in my mouth. So I can't.
Why is that?
I can't read this book without like being just like ugh already, just in general, and it's.
Is it because of Diodato?
Huh? Just the early issues just kind of ruined this book for me at forever. I just never gonna it's already starting at a 1 and it has to earn its way back. So If we didn't only have like 2 other issues, this is the only reason why we were put in here in the lineup. It's because we only had 2 issues
Yeah.
besides this. So
Still, it was a pretty good issue of this book.
yeah, for it is, I
Yeah.
can say it was actually pretty good. But that's about as all I'm ever gonna be able to give it, and I have to give that. I feel like for our listeners, I need to give that disclaimer that I can't give it a justified review, like a completely unbiased review. Like there's hidden resentment towards the book,
All right.
and not against Jerry Duggan. I like Jerry Duggan.
For sure. For sure. Well, it's not really on the list, but I was gonna throw a few little other Avengers books out there since we're pretty light on books. Spider-Woman #5 also serves as the 100th issue. Written by Carla Pacheco, art by Peri Perez and Frank Diamata on colors. This book.
Sorry, does that relate to Spider Gwen or
Nope, Spider-Woman.
actual
Jessica Drew.
Drew?
Yeah, it's a really, really entertaining book. Delving into her family, but they really the writer has a really good sense of humor and has a really good this book has a really good pitch with just Jessica's power starting to fail on her, and then she realizes that she actually has a brother out there and a niece. So it's kind of a family story, and they eventually find her mother, just to find like her mother is a clone, and she starts going crazy. The clone starts breaking down, and they start fighting, and she's just looking ridiculous. And even Jessica like has to take this kind of serum to keep her alive and stabilize her, but the serum has its side effects where it makes her just like uh, it makes her rageful and insensitive. So she just starts being just a total bitch and always ready to fight and moody, and it's just a great. I use the word description fun too much, but really entertaining series. This is actually what I say, issue 5, Legacy 100, but issue 5. And if you liked kind of even Bendis' spin on the character, then you're gonna like this because it's they know the character. It's Jessica, and her character is really well written and built up in this book, in this series, I should say.
Cool.
So, don't sleep on it. Did anybody else read anything like catch up on Falcon, Winter Soldier, or Iron Man, or Captain Marvel?
I actually still haven't finished Free Fall either, but I bought. All right, so I went to the comic book store in Corwin. Maybe you can help me with this. I knew that I had issues 1 and 2, but I just bought them again because I had bought them before I moved, and they're somewhere in a shuffle, you know. I think I have. So now I got everything they had at the store, but there was like 1 and 2, and then 5 and 6. I don't think I have 3 and 4, and I couldn't find them. And do you know why? Did they not release?
No, they did.
There's a reason.
They did release them. I don't know why they were hard to find though.
Just go.
Yeah, they probably just like when they did release them, it was just like one of like only 3 or 4 books that were coming out because of the COVID era. So I would imagine some shops just decided not to get it.
Originally,
because
they weren't going to print 5 and 6 anymore. They were going to be digital only. So that could have been the reason why orders on 3 and 4 probably dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I would like to talk about eventually is that Clint book, but I didn't finish it.
Since I'm on a roll, I will say that Black Widow by Kelly Thompson and Elena Casagrande with Jordi Belair on colors. great stuff. Even though, of course, we get Clint and Winter Soldier, because you can't have Natasha without them two around in some capacity. But the art on this book is just great. The story
Yeah.
is very entertaining, even though I haven't really caught up on the rest of her series, so I don't know some of these characters like the what is it, Weeping Lion, or
What issue are you
I've read
reading?
the first three, but two is the one that came out this
Okay.
month.
Do you mean you missed the series
I
before
missed a couple
this?
series before this. Yeah, I didn't finish the
Yeah.
Mark Waid run, and there was another one or two. There's a couple
Really?
other series before this one that I'm just behind on.
Yeah, I was trying to remember first of all, I agree with you 100%, and as usual, Kelly Thompson, I bow down to you. I'm not worthy. I'm pretty sure my fellas agree, but I particularly bow down. And I was trying to remember if the one where Natasha almost comes out of a blackout, like in a skydive or something. You remember that one?
No, I haven't been reading. I've been just after the
Okay.
Wade Somni run, I completely lost track, and I didn't even finish the Wade and Somni run, but I know it's good.
Yeah. I guess the Phil Noto one was the really probably best received one of the last few years, right? But that's probably 5 years old now.
Who wrote that one?
I'm
not in
looking.
front of the house computer to really be able to look it up.
1 second.
Yeah, I want to say that I like the Phil Noto one too.
It was really good.
See?
Come on. Black Widow Volume 1.
And there's definitely one after the Sami stuff before this one. There was another.
Yeah, Nathan Edmondson.
Yeah, unknown.
He's been around. He's done a few things.
Yeah.
Let's see, is there a volume 3 then?
I forgot who did the Noto. Who wrote the Noto ones?
That's it. It's Nathan Edmondson.
Oh, and Phil Noto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nathan Edmondson and Phil Noto.
So who was after Wayne and Somni? I thought Wayne and Somni was the last one.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. It's Black Widow Volume 1, Shield's Most Wanted, and Mark Waid wrote it.
Okay.
And then No More Secrets is the Volume 2 of Mark Waid. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Then there's... No, Black Widow by Waid and Samney Complete Collection, which is... Volume 1 and 2, Shield's Most Wanted, and No More Secrets. Before that's Phil Noto, and then the current book is the most. Yeah, there's nothing else.
For the Web of Black Widow, maybe that was just a one shot then.
Yeah. You mean Tightly Tangled Web? So the Phil Noto stuff is Volume 1 is titled Finely Woven Thread. Volume 2 is Tightly Tangled Web, and then. I think that's it, but I'll look up the Web of Black Widow real quick.
That was a one shot.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's actually a thing. It's coming up in search. Web of Black Widow, paperback, 13/20, March 3rd, 2020, by Stephen Mooney and Jody Hauser. Jody Hauser, somewhat famously came up under what's the guy that was in My Chemical Romance?
Gerard Way.
Yes, he has a DC imprint called Young Animal, and Jody Hauser wrote a character that was a new character for that label, but that she took place in Gotham City, called Mother Panic. Really good. So I always kind of perk up when I see Jody Hauser's name. But yeah, you're right.
How many How
That's a
many
thing.
issues did that run, if you can tell?
That is a 5-issue miniseries. Issue 2 came out in October 2019. So I guess you once again are correct, sir. There was one more, and that is it. That's the stuff that comes after Samney and before right now. When will then be now? I watched. Did I tell you guys that I watched Spaceballs again?
No.
It holds up surprisingly.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Surprising.
Johnny loved it when I let him watch it, so
My God.
yeah. So
I didn't read so much other stuff, but there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the worlds of television. Hellstrom, for one thing, just in the Marvel universe. I suppose it would be fair to call us friends of Joe Hill and Hill House Comics, etc. Right?
Yep.
Lock and Key fame. Nosferatu on AMC Network. You guys
haven't
check.
watched the second season yet.
Is there a second
yeah.
season? Oh wow! I just found out about it. I just finished watching the first season.
Second.
With
first season is great.
Yeah, it's great. Zachary Quinto.
Second's gonna be the last one, although they didn't pick it up for a third.
You want to know something crazy? Her dad, like the alcoholic dad. I went to high school with him. Eben Moss Backrack. Yep, and we used to also work at a summer camp together at the Deerfield Academy Summer Arts Camp. How about them apples? But boy, most importantly, Mandalorian episode 3.
Viet, are you caught up?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Hello.
Boy, I stood up. I was like, what?
Katie.
They officially, two things. One is we got Cara Thrace Starbuck, Katie Sackhoff, in a guest role. Although she's filling the role she voiced in Rebels. And
Clone Wars. Wait, did she didn't do the voice in Clone Wars too?
And maybe. I don't know. Was that character in Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have misspoke. Maybe, but she's definitely in Rebels too, because they go. Anyways, and she dropped the bomb, which is that we are gonna see Ahsoka Tano in live action form later this season, which I think a lot of people had heard if they're.
So are we just gonna cut this and S into EMBS?
Oh shoot!
Put a pin.
I guess we could put a pin in it. We'll save it for that then.
To find out the answer to this question and many others.
All right, so listeners, you can email us at emp@earthsmightiestpodcast.com. Don't forget our Facebook group page, facebookgroup.earthsmightiestpodcast.com, where you can come hang out with us and help us out. Like, I know we had some questions. You can help answer those questions there. On Twitter, you can use the hashtag #TheCollectiveNet to see the the groups, the Collective Net and the other podcasts in that. Don't forget Bobby is on there as well at Bobby Mobetta, Betta, and Comedian Viet is at Comedian Viet. We're a proud member of a podcast network. You can find us at comicspodcasts.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're on Twitch, follow me. And if you have Amazon Prime, subscribe to my channel for free.
Don't tell me what to do.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I tried to subscribe to your channel, and then it didn't let me because I had already it's not free, is what I mean, because I had subscribed to. You're only allowed to subscribe to one channel for free.
A month.
Turns out.
Yes, one a month. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is one a month?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So like after a month, you can subscribe to a different channel. Like it'll let you know when you can do it again.
Okay. I'll keep working on it. I just I don't not love you. Just wanted you to know that.
Shout out to our listener Tari for doing that. So,
Yeah, Tari.
to my knowledge, one of our only listeners that are subscribing.
He's also probably one of, to my knowledge, one of the
playback.
One of the only listeners. One of the only listeners from England.
Well, he's also a avid poster on the Facebook group page too. So
yeah, he's yeah. Sorry, you that dude, man. Thanks for the support.
Actually, it just happened today. So shout out to Matt Brackensick.
Hey, Matty.
Matt, he's also subscribed.
Shoot, I better subscribe.
And then I'm gonna work on whenever I don't know when I'm gonna have some spare time because that's a thing that apparently happens. I'm gonna start where we're gonna start trying to work in like trying to record on my Twitch channel as well, so we can have some
live feedback,
little video content. Oh, I see.
Well, I mean, where we can have some live feedback and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So
maybe I wonder if fans would be interested in us doing like a live AMA or something on Instagram or something like that, or if we could even do it that way if we're all in different places. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we need one, we would have to develop
investigate.
We have to make an account and then get some people to actually follow it, and it just will take some time. It's not like I think we're better off just going on my channel and then just doing it
after that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Just as the technologies develop. Current Batman.
Anyways.
Also crossed issue 100. Congratulations to them. I believe that is Tom King and whoever does art stuff. Yeah,
right.
Good stuff, guys.
Yep. Special thanks to Tribe One for our theme song. Check out his site, tribe1.bandcamp.com.
Is funny.
Now appearing in the building, up in every ear hole from 80-year-olds to the children. You're here to hear about the heroes and the villains and save yourself some dollars, yen, and euros from the zeros to the millions. This is a lot of class packed into one podcast. They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, five-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Bendis, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest.
Find out more about Earth's Mightiest Podcast at www.earthsmightiestpodcast.com. Earth's Mightiest Podcast is not affiliated with Marvel Comics in any way. Plot synopses may not be accurate. No similarities between names, characters, persons, aliens, ghosts, dimensional entities, and or institutions in this podcast are intended with those of any living, disembodied, dead, or undead person or institution. Any such similarity which may exist in this or any other universe, dimension, or altered timeline is purely, though probably not a coincidence. Earth's Mightiest Podcast is not responsible for any injuries, death, banishment to other dimensions, bodily or mental transformation due to sorcery, unplanned ingestion, or cybernetic implants, or babies conceived while listening to this podcast. We do not have anything worth suing us over. Thank you.